Quick note before we begin. This video is for general education only. It is not personalized financial advice, so always make the money decisions that fit your own situation. If every budget you've ever tried felt like way too much work and you quit within a week, this video is going to fix that. Because the reason most budgets fail isn't you, it's that they're needlessly complicated. Today I'm going to teach you the simplest budgeting method that actually works. The 50-30-20 rule. It's 3 numbers. That's it. By the end, you'll know exactly how to split your paycheck so your bills are covered, you still get to enjoy your life, and you're building real savings at the same time, without tracking 40 categories or hating your existence. Let's make budgeting genuinely easy. Let's start with why your past budgets didn't stick. Because it's almost never a lack of discipline. It's complexity. Most budgeting advice hands you a spreadsheet with 30 categories and expects you to lovingly track every dollar across all of them, forever. And for about a week, you do. Then life gets busy, you miss a few days. The whole thing feels broken and guilt-inducing, and you abandon it. Sound familiar? The problem is that the system asked for more effort than any normal human can sustain. A budget you quit in a week does nothing for you. A slightly less precise budget you actually keep for years will change your entire financial life. So we're going to trade a little precision for a lot of stickiness, and that trade is absolutely worth it. The 50-30-20 rule works because it's almost impossible to forget. 3 buckets, 3 numbers. You can literally do it in your head. And simplicity isn't the compromise here, it's the whole secret. Because the best budget in the world is not the most detailed one. It's the one you'll still be using next year. Here's the entire method in 60 seconds. You take your monthly take-home pay, the money that actually lands in your account after taxes, and you split it into 3 buckets. 50% goes to needs, the essentials you truly must pay to live and work. 30% goes to wants, the fun and the extras that make life worth living. And 20% goes to savings and extra debt payoff, the money that builds your future. 50-30-20. That's the whole rule. So if you bring home $3,000 a month, that's $1,500 for needs, $900 for wants, and $600 for savings and debt. If you bring home $4,000, it's $2,000, $1,200, and $800. The beauty is that it scales to any income, and it gives every dollar a clear home without micromanaging. Now, those exact percentages are a starting target, not a sacred law, and I'll show you how to bend them when real life doesn't fit the mold. But first, let's make sure you know exactly what belongs in each of the 3 buckets, because that's where people get tripped up. The first bucket is needs, and it should be about half your take-home pay. Needs are the non-negotiables, the things you genuinely must pay to keep a roof over your head, food on the table, and yourself able to earn. That's your rent or mortgage, your utilities, basic groceries, transportation to work, insurance, minimum debt payments, and essential phone and internet. Here's the test to know if something is truly a need. If you stop paying it, would your life seriously break down? Would you lose your home, your health, or your ability to work? If yes, it's a need. If not, it's probably hiding in the wrong bucket. And that's the trap, because a lot of things love to disguise themselves as needs. The premium streaming bundle is not a need. The daily takeout lunch is not a need. Groceries are. A brand new finance car, when a reliable used one would do, is stretching the definition. Be honest here, because every want you misfile as a need quietly inflates this bucket and steals from your future. If your real needs come in under 50%, fantastic, you've got extra room. If they're over, don't panic. We'll deal with that shortly. The second bucket is wants, up to about 30% of your take-home. And I want you to notice something important. This bucket exists on purpose. A lot of budgeting advice treats any enjoyment as a failure. And that's exactly why those budgets get abandoned. A budget with no room for fun is a crash diet, and crash diets always end in a binge. So this 30% is your guilt-free zone. It's dining out, hobbies, travel, streaming, the concert tickets, the nice coffee, the shopping that's genuinely for pleasure. As long as you're keeping it within this bucket, you never have to feel bad about a single dollar of it, because you've already taken care of your needs in your future. This is what makes 50-30-20 sustainable when stricter plans fail. It builds enjoyment right into the system instead of pretending you're a robot. Now, 30% is a ceiling, not a target you have to hit. If you want to reach your goals faster, this is the bucket you willingly trim, moving some of it over to savings. But the key is that it's your choice, made from a place of abundance, not deprivation. That feeling of permission is exactly what keeps you going. The third bucket, 20%, is where your future actually gets built, and it's the one most people skip when they don't have a plan. This slice covers building your emergency fund, feeding your sinking funds, saving for big goals, investing for the long term, and paying down debt beyond the minimums. Think of this 20% as paying your future self first, before lifestyle gets a chance to eat it. And here's the move that makes it real. Automate it. The moment your paycheck lands, have this money automatically routed to savings and extra debt payments, so it's gone before you can spend it. Out of sight, working for you. If you're carrying high-interest debt, lean this bucket toward crushing that first, since paying off a high interest rate is a guaranteed return you can't beat anywhere else. Once the toxic debt is gone, redirect that same 20% into savings and investing, and watch it start to compound. This is the bucket that quietly turns a person who's just getting by into a person who's getting ahead. It might feel small at first, but consistently protected, 20% is genuinely life-changing over time. Before you can split anything, you need the one figure this whole method runs on: your monthly take-home pay. That's the money that actually hits your bank account after taxes and deductions, not your salary on paper. This trips people up, so use the real deposited number. If you're salaried with a steady paycheck, this is easy. Just look at what lands each month. If your income is irregular, from tips, freelancing, commissions, or gig work, do this. Look back over the last several months, find your average. And to be safe, budget off a slightly lower number than your average, so a quiet month doesn't sink you. In good months, the extra just flows into savings. Once you've got your true monthly take-home, the rest is simple arithmetic. Multiply it by zero point 0.5 for your needs bucket, by zero point 0.3 for wants, and by zero point 0.2 for savings and debt. Write those $3 amounts down where you'll see them. Those are your targets for the month. That's genuinely it. You've just built a working budget, and it took about 2 minutes. Now let's handle the situation where real life doesn't fit the tidy percentages. Let's be real about something. For a lot of people right now, especially in expensive cities, housing alone eats way more than 50% of take-home pay, which blows up the whole needs bucket before you even buy groceries. If that's you, do not throw the method out. Adjust it. The 50-30-20 split is a target to move toward, not a pass-fail test. Maybe your reality today is more like 60-30-10 or 70-20-10. That's okay. The framework still works because it still shows you the trade-offs clearly and gives you a direction to steer. And it points you straight at the real fix. If your needs are permanently over 50%, the powerful long-term moves are the big ones, finding a way to lower that housing cost or increasing your income, because no amount of clipping tiny expenses offsets rent that's swallowing your paycheck. In the meantime, protect even a small savings slice, 5 or 10%, fiercely, because the habit matters as much as the amount right now. Use the percentages as a compass, not a cage. A budget that bends to your real life is a budget you'll actually keep. Let's make this concrete by walking through a real example, because seeing the numbers move makes it click. Say you bring home $3,000 a month after taxes. 50-30-20 says $1,500 goes to needs, $900 to wants, and $600 to savings and debt. So you sit down and map it out. Your needs: rent at $1,100, utilities at $150, groceries at $250, transportation at $100, insurance and phone filling the rest, and it lands right around that $1,500 mark. Your wants, $900, covers dining out, a couple of streaming services, some hobby money, and a little shopping, all guilt-free because it's planned. And your $600 in savings and debt goes to automatically building your emergency fund, feeding a sinking fund or two, and throwing extra at a credit card. Look at what just happened. Every one of your $3,000 now has a clear destination before the month even starts. Nothing is floating, nothing is unaccounted for, and yet you still have real room to enjoy your life. That's the whole magic of this system. Total clarity without misery. Plug in your own take-home number and do the same three-way split, and you'll have your entire month mapped in about 10 minutes. One last thing that separates people who budget for a month from people who budget for life: your 50-30-20 split is a living thing, not a stone tablet, and it should shift as your life shifts. When your income goes up from a raise, a new job, a side income, resist the urge to let your wants bucket swell to match. Instead, hold your lifestyle roughly steady and pour most of that new money into the savings and debt bucket. That single move, keeping spending flat while income rises, is how the percentages quietly tilt in your favor over time, and how ordinary people build real wealth. On the flip side, when money gets tight, from a job loss or a rough stretch, you temporarily flex the other way, trimming once hard and protecting only your true needs and a sliver of savings until things stabilize. The framework bends with your circumstances instead of breaking. And as you knock out debt, that freed up money doesn't vanish into lifestyle. It rolls straight into savings and investing, so your future keeps accelerating. Revisit your split every few months or whenever something big changes, and nudge the numbers to fit your real life. A budget you adjust is a budget you keep, and a budget you keep is the one that changes everything. Now let's make this run almost by itself, because the less it depends on your willpower, the better it works. The cleanest setup uses a little automation across a few accounts. Your needs money lives in your main checking account, where your bills and essentials get paid from. Your savings and debt 20% gets automatically transferred on payday into a separate high-yield savings account and toward your extra debt payments, so it's handled before you can touch it. And your wants money is whatever's designed to be spent freely, which some people like to keep in a separate account or even a prepaid card so that when it's gone, no overthinking required. The goal of this structure is simple: make the right thing automatic and the wrong thing require effort. When your savings transfer happens without you lifting a finger and your fund money is clearly walled off, you barely have to make decisions at all. The system carries you. Set this up once, and 50-30-20 basically runs on autopilot, quietly doing its job in the background while you get on with your life. Before you go, let me save you from the handful of mistakes that sink new budgeters, because dodging these is half the battle. Mistake one, and it's the biggest: labeling wants as needs. Be brutally honest about that needs bucket, because every want you sneak in there steals from your future. Mistake two, forgetting irregular expenses. Those once-a-year bills and surprise costs need sinking funds inside your plan, or they'll blow it up, so build them in. Mistake three, making the wants bucket zero to be a hero. Go too strict, you'll rebel and quit. Keep a little joy in it. Mistake four, not automating and relying on remembering to save every month, which you won't, so set it and forget it. And mistake five, giving up after one imperfect month. You will overspend a bucket sometimes. That's not failure, that's just data. You note it, you adjust, and you keep going. A budget isn't a test you pass or fail, it's a skill you build. Dodge these five, keep it simple, stay consistent, and 50-30-20 will do more for your money than the fanciest spreadsheet you'll never open twice.